If I was to get a bunch of Gen Z young men, and I would say, use, come on down here and help me work on this engine, or help me do some project or whatever else, or even let's go play basketball together. Anything that challenges their brain, challenge their mentality and their mindset, get them doing positive things that are masculine and manly, I can get them to do that. The problem I got with these old Gen X type dudes, that all these game dudes and all these guys talking this shit, is that you're asking you're telling these young men to level up and self-develop for the purpose of getting better women. You're going to lose them. We're going to end up with a bunch of homeless young men, because that's the value of the box that's in here on these streets. There's about men make 50,000, 100,000, whatever. The value of what's out here in this street with today's modern woman is the equivalent of a homeless man. Even a homeless man is overqualified for the box out here in the street. Most of what's going on out here today is purely, strictly prostitution. The sexual revolution has been going on for the last 60, 70 years. There are no chaste women, very few. Everybody, most of the women have been ran through. They're out here. They're telling them. The feminists are telling them to go out here and get ran through. The older women are telling them to go out here, focus on your career. What do you think they're doing while they're focusing on their career? They're not celibate. They're getting pounded out vigorously and viciously. So what happens now is marriage for most of these young ladies or young men, it's like the fourth, fifth place finisher. You're getting everything that everybody is pounded out in the leftovers. And you think that woman who has never been raised to be a wife, not being raised to be a mother, can barely boil eggs without the eggs exploding in the pot. You go to her house, her refrigerator has the Chinese food delivery, an empty pizza box. She can't cook anything. So really what you're getting is pre-owned used box, an entitled woman that thinks that your job is to serve her. She's going to spend all these years trying to train you to be a simp and break down emasculate you. You're going to be walking around here, one of these dudes with his belly sticking way out here with high cholesterol and diabetes and all of that. That is not appeasing to these young men. They've seen it. They've seen it in their uncles. They've seen it in their fathers. Dudes leave this earth prematurely from stress and high blood pressure. They just burn out. You can't sell that shit as what men should be striving for, to be what? A diabetic? That's why I have a problem with these dating coaches. Leave that shit alone. Talk about masculinity and manhood separate from women. We don't need a bunch of deadbeats. What are they going to do? They're going to stay in the basement, and because they can just go, anyone can just go, and they don't even date these girls anymore. Why? The dude's coming over at 11 o'clock at night, and that's what really killed the dating market. What killed the dating market is not all this hypergamy and women getting their degrees and men are not qualified with Scott Galloway's thing. No, men are smart. It's like, look, this dude over here is coming over and crushing her out at night for 11. He ain't paid for no date. He ain't did none of that shit. And you want me to go spend $100 and date this woman or court her or whatever else? Hell no. Or now all of a sudden she's in the church and she found Jesus, and now you're supposed to. What about the 12 guys who smashed that, pounded her out vigorously, viciously? Oh, you're supposed to just overlook that, and they imprinted her, and she's got that mindset and that mentality already set. You think she's going to be some cooperative, housewife because she somehow found Jesus? Forget it. So these young men are not going to be motivated by a bunch of leftover women, and you can shame them all day long. It's prostitution out here. I've seen it. It's completely gone. Because, again, and it's the same reason why they say, well, I won't pay 50% of the bill. Why? Because they don't like you. You think a feminist likes you? You're crazy. They hate your guts. They've been taught all the time that masculinity is toxic, and your leadership is oppression. You're oppressive. They look like you. Like, for them to even be in a situation where you have to pay 100% of the bills for them, to compensate them for the fact that they even have to lay underneath you and have sex with you. That's what they're telling you. That's what they're telling you. They don't want to be there. And that's why, and again, this price is only for the men they're not attracted to. So we keep going back in this circle, trying to get men to this 1930s mindset mode of traditionalism, when the world is completely changed and evolved, when women are not the same. It's not the same. Even old dudes like me need to stop that bullshit with these young men, setting them up for failure. Now, if you really want to talk about some changes, change the law. We see what happens when you change the law, what happened in Kentucky, where the divorce rate went down by 25%, Kentucky, because they made default 50-50 custody for married people. Now you're talking about something, you're changing the laws that incentivize people to end marriages or be completely, jacked up in relationships. Now you're affecting something by changing the laws. Outside of any changes of the laws, men have to be proactive in protecting their resources, protecting their peace, protecting their mental health, because it's a coalition. It takes structure to support good relationship, where it goes beyond just the man and the woman. It goes to the families. It goes to how the people were raised. It goes to grandparents and uncles and aunts. And who are people talking to when there's problems in relationship? Imagine being with a woman and she's talking to a bunch of old feminist women, giving her advice about how she's supposed to treat you. And it's even worse in the black community because it's a matriarchal culture. They don't care about what men want. Men are seen in terms of servitude. All you do, their mentality of community is that of like the hyena structure. It's a matriarchal community. Look at when they say who they say on their mama when they're about to delete you. Yeah, on your mama, you better hit the ground, because you don't know what's about to happen around there. So that's the problem that I have with a lot of these guys. They're still having these conversations like we're living in the 1930s or something like that, and trying to hold these young men to a certain standard because women are not getting the outcome that they want. And the birth rate is down. And they want the spending up because women do 80% of the spending. But it has nothing to do with what's best for these young men. They don't care if you're in a destructive, unfulfilling relationship and you're being tortured, because divorce is not the worst thing that can happen to you. You can die the death of 1,000 razor cuts or needle pokes when your self-esteem and your masculinity is being crushed in a dysfunctional, toxic relationship with one of these modern women who don't give a rat's ass about masculinity or manhood or any type of leadership. They don't. If they did, they would have been, many of them been married in their 20s. They would have done it already. So they're out here chasing and competing with men. And that's what these guys got to realize, okay? That's not the objective. Men need to learn female nature. Men need to learn how to protect themselves. Men need to have self-esteem, and many of these young men need therapy, many of them, to build their confidence. But it's a predatory environment to get into these relationships nowadays, where it's only one-sided and only benefits the women, especially after they've been out here and enjoying sexual liberation. How will they be satisfied with one man in a house in a traditional setting when they're not even a traditional woman? That creates an environment of boredom. And if you guys think that you listen to these women con you into paying 100% of the bills, what do you think they're going to do? You think a feminist is going to sit at home? No, she's going to be bored. She's going to get on TikTok. She's going to be on Instagram. She's going to be putting up thirst traps. She's not going to be at home making your life better, or how she'll move the goalposts. She's not going to be cooking and cleaning and all that stuff. She'll just move the goalposts and about something else that you're not doing that upsets her. Now you're not doing enough of this. Now you're working too long, because she is bored. She is not like a traditional woman that would be doing stuff around the house or out there taking care of the animals or doing something else while you're out there making money. She is not sitting at home planning, doing things to improve your life or pour into you. In their mind, in their mindset, this is about them having a soft life when they figured out that, they got tricked into this corporate life of spending a month and a half just commuting back and forth, and they're looking for a sucker to take care of them, and they have no desire to be submissive or pour into that man. It's just a slave. That's the trade-off for them being with you is that you're going to be their slave. And that's why they talk about it. Or, half of these women, like, they ain't nothing about tradition. Like 100 bodies on them talking, man, gotta pay 100% of the bills. Yeah, you got 100 bodies. What? Okay, how about this? We pay 100% of the bills for virgins. You gonna kill that conversation real quick? You want to provide a man? Then you'll be a chaste woman. Nope. Ain't happening. So what we talking about this bullshit for? Nobody's no, and it's worse with these old women like me. They're so selfish. They can't even let the young people focus. The relationship conversation should be about people in their early 20s, and the worst is anything over 35. I mean, come on, man. You're getting over into the leftover market, and what are you talking about? I mean, what is these old salt and pepper women? See, I'm old and bald. What are you talking about? You two had your time. Move on. Move outside. Help encourage the young women. Tell them, look, don't go to college and get your box blown out. Treat your body like the man you want treats his last name. And move outside and help these young ladies. Stop out here trying to rebrand yourself. You're old like me. Ain't no old man with any self-esteem is going for that bullshit. He's not paying 100% of your bills. Why would a man pay 100% of the bills or anything with an old woman? It's not going to do that. That's a fool's game. Who is going to do that? Unless you're absolutely low self-esteem, and you're just a guy that just don't have any choices in this life. For what? To what? To start what legacy? To start what family? These women are old. So, they better just get themselves some companionship or get a dog or go die alone in your own houses. Nobody's coming over there to bother you for that molded meatloaf. You're good. Most of the old dudes would rather go out like Uncle Earl than to deal with some old women that's entitled, that's hard-headed, that's not going to listen, that's not going to get anybody's plan, that think that their social status is the same as their sexual market value in terms of how men see them. Yeah, you may have a high status, but look, a guy like me didn't put that mileage on you for the last 30 years, period. Well, they'll say, well, you guys are old too. Y'all probably got ED, but my money is still good, baby. Let me tell you something. A 25-year-old man pull out 10,000, I pull out 10,000, it spends the same. But a 25-year-old woman shows that hot body and you show that body, it don't look the same. It's a totally different world when it comes to men and women. Shoot. Never mind, I shouldn't have said that, but that's another story. Anyhow, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. More content coming your way, but we got to change the topic, the conversation. Make self-development, make men leveling up for their own self-preservation the focus, not just women. We get it. We understand. Go learn female nature, learn game, self-protective game. Understand those things, but we got to adapt, fellas. This ain't your daddy's world anymore. I'm out.